So we've previously looked at just this idea of starting to make a very specific set of directions in order to solve a problem, right? Um, Now, you could have all of the bread and peanut butter and the jelly and the knives and the plates all over the place, and you can have them out on the counter, right? But I think it makes more sense to try to approach this problem of being able to make a sandwich. If you approach it first, is we need to come up with a game plan. We need to have a plan for how to make the sandwich. Because you could have all the ingredients you want. If you don't know how to make the sandwich or the steps that it would take to get from raw ingredients to sandwich, this is not going to help you. Right. So as much as it is to kind of put out these directions, the first thing we need to do is kind of think through the problem. Right. So we're going to play a little bit today about creating a plan. And unfortunately, I make fun of some of my other programming students, my other computer science students in like my AP computer science class, because we want to skip past the thinking portion of computer science. Computer science, I believe, has a lot to do. It has less to do with working the computer, and it really is a study in thinking. It's in logical thinking. How do I get from point A to point B in the most logical way possible? So that's the real study of computer science. It really is a study in logic and thinking, which in a lot of cases can be really kind of cool. If you're into problem solving, if you're into riddles and stuff like that, computer science might be your thing. So in computer science, we don't call this idea a plan. We're going to put some vocabulary out there for you. The vocabulary that we're going to use here is called an algorithm. Okay, an algorithm is the computer science term for really a plan. The definition they give here is a precise sequence of instructions for processes that can be executed by a computer and are implemented using programming languages. We'll talk about that in a little while. But here, the general idea behind an algorithm is a precise set of instructions for processes that can be executed by a computer. Right? So if we had to think of the directions you wrote the other day for how to make the sandwich, all right? If we took one step back from the directions themselves and went just a little bit higher, right? What is the overall strategy that we're going to employ to be able to get me to a sandwich, right? What is the general game plan to figure this out? Okay. Maybe we don't know how to get down to the nitty gritty step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And maybe we can't turn that into code yet, but I think we can think through the whole problem. And we're going to call that an algorithm. In my experience in programming and teaching programming, I find that sometimes if you think the problem through first, that sometimes those very specific steps or even kind of the roadmap to get you to the end of the problem becomes a lot clearer when we think it through first, right? And the algorithm also almost winds up becoming like a checklist or a real game plan on how to solve the problem. Okay, so our task today to try to write an algorithm, write a game plan, is going to be an algorithm that's going to deal with a set of cards. And in the next video you'll watch, I'll kind of outline that a little bit for you about what it means to write an algorithm and what our task is going to be.